As far as I'm anyway, you're here. Look, let's welcome Jonathan, and let's welcome. I don't know where she's gone, but she's disappeared somewhere. No, she's not there. All right.
Ah,
There she is.
Gazelle, Jonathan, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello,
Good to see you again,
from
Jonathan and
Kuala Lumpur.
Gazelle. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank
Gazelle.
you so much. Thanks for having me. A biggest thanks to Jonathan, my best friend from UK. I was amazing, actually. Now I'm wonderful. You know, words can't express how excited I am to be with you guys. And it's a pleasure to meet you.
You're nice and quiet. You want to probably speak up a little bit, Gazelle. There's a couple of people in Belgium can't hear you. Where are you? Where are you, Gazelle? It sounds like you're next
Right
door.
now, I'm living in Kuala Lumpur, but I'm from Iran.
You're from Iran, okay?
Yes.
And you're at the moment your age is twinned with
Correct.
East Croydon. It's not. Okay, right, Jonathan. You were a big hit when you came. Neil, is that too much even for you? God, Jonathan, you were a big hit. We had a lot to talk about last time, so
We
all
did.
right, take it away. Tell us about everything that you're doing, and then tell us why we're delighted. We are being joined all the way from Kuala Lumpur.
Indeed.
Yes, fill us in, Jonathan. This is going to be good because I'm a big fan of what you do. Go for it.
Well, I very much appreciate you asking me back. Thanks, guys. And I
Can
really
I have the
hope
negatives back now?
What negatives? Oh, yes, yeah.
Thanks.
Sorry,
Okay.
yeah.
Thanks.
That'll tell you what. That shows your age, mate. We don't have film anymore, do we?
Do we not?
No. In fact, I
Wow.
was talking.
Are the
just
Beatles
this
still
morning.
together, Jonathan?
Did you not get that memo?
Yeah. No,
Are the Beatles still playing together?
I think so. Yeah.
Glenn Miller's playing in East Croydon tonight, mate.
He's
Thank
on the
God.
moon.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to seeing Buddy Holly soon because he's coming
Absolutely.
over. Right, move
Before
on.
I go
Jonathan,
into my
go on.
yes, before I go into my thing, hi Russ. I don't know if you saw the message. I was listening to another of your lives the other day. On your computer, you've got a capacity called sticky keys.
I did see your message and it
Yep.
sounded smutty, so I liked it straight away, but I don't understand what the hell it means.
Fine. So sticky keys is a function in Windows.
Right.
If you press your shift key down
Steady.
five or six times in a row, it will go blip blip, and this little box will come up, and you can click on the sticky keys function. Sticky keys basically holds down your shift or your control or your alt or your function button so that you can, with one hand, press the shift, get a capitalized letter, then carry on typing. Every time you want a capital. So we'll talk.
I'll tell you what else I've found, which has been a real boon. Gazelle, I know this is boring as hell to you, but stick with it. What the hell? Is that I went online. Somebody very kindly wanted to sell me a speech-to-text recognition system. It was 400 quid. And I thought, no, I'm feeling crap enough as it is. I ain't laying out 400 quid. I'm sure it's marvellous. And queues up for smoked salmon on a Sunday morning, but I'm not getting it. And then I did some research online with what's left of my brain, and I found if you press the Windows key, the little sign, and press the letter H simultaneously, it immediately does dictation. It's great. So I know who knew.
Sorry.
Who the hell knew? Yeah, that wasn't Butch. Do you want to try it again?
Yeah.
Let's try it again so you see more Butch. It immediately does dictate. No, that just sounds like you had 2 bottles of Coca-Cola and burping. And so you press, this is for everybody. It's really good. You press the Windows little function button and you press the letter H. Up comes a microphone. You press that. And so my emails, I'm dictating. It's not as, and it's, because I can't type. Emails dictating, and it works on anything.
Yeah, wow. I've just tried it. It works.
It's really good, and they keep it a secret, so you don't need to go and spend. And I'm not being rude about the person who was being very, very helpful, and in no way. But I'd rather do it for free, because eventually, please God, my hand will heal. Right, let's get back to why you're here, Mr. Social Me Too.
Okay, so hi everyone who's watching, and I'm Jonathan McDonald, and a chap called Gregory Austin and I began what started out as LinkedIn Me Too and has evolved to Social Me Too, because we knew content or connections on LinkedIn. So Gazelle was a connection of mine. And until I heard, and it was almost a throwaway comment, one of my connections said, "Oh yeah, I get 3 or 4 DMs every day from men saying, 'Oh, you're so beautiful. I want you to be my wife,' or 'I'm a soldier and I need your help,' or whatever it might be." And I went, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah." And it was the matter of factness of it that shocked me.
Gazelle, did you get my message that says, "I've only got one working hand and I'm really screwed. Do you want to come to Southeast London?" Did you get that message?
Yeah.
Oh, great, because I'm waiting for a reply. Move on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's
Great.
visible for me. I hope you all can hear me clearly, because I don't
Yeah.
have any mic.
No,
As
no,
you can see.
we can hear you.
We can,
hear
Gazelle.
you
I
like
can't wait
Spinal
to hear your
Tap loud.
story.
Okay.
So, yes, and so from last time you asked me to come back, Russ, thank you, and Neil, and I thought that, so Gazelle was one of the first women that appeared on video for the shows that I produced, and I need to say no more. If you, in fact, you can minimize my frame, let Gazelle speak.
I'm not minimizing your frame. That would be ridiculous.
All right. Okay.
I really want to hear this, because I really want to understand the female point of view on this. I'm going to say no more, and I really want to hear your story, Gazelle. Please go ahead and share.
Sure. First of all, again, greetings to all of our audience and everybody who is watching us. I'm Gazelle, and I'm business developer, women empowerment public speaker, and I'm also passionate model and actress. Actually, the main reason that I made friends with Jonathan, more than being just a LinkedIn connections, it was my horrible stories. Then I found out he already found a very good platform of social Me Too, where we can freely speak and we can raise our voice. And there is somebody like him and his teammates who can listen to us. Actually, for me, I have many horrible stories that I can share with you. But for today,
good. We've got an hour. We've got an hour. Knock yourself out.
All right, good. But for today, I don't want to take a very long time, to explain more. Later, you can check our YouTube channel of Jonathan McDonald. But for today, actually, what I have since my childhood until now, until yesterday, so many crazy things, many misbehaviors I face, abusive conversations, and many things, But the best part I can share with you is when I moved to Kuala Lumpur, I moved to Malaysia. Actually, since the age of 19, I was traveling of the country as an interpreter, English, US, Persian. Then at the age of 24, I came to Malaysia. I moved. Why? Because I wanted to have a brighter future in a better country.
Yeah.
Then when I came here, I was supposed to stay here for 4 months only, not for a very long time, but it's already 5 years I'm here. It was because I got a very nice job offer from an immigration company, educational immigration company. And after 2 months of my residency in Malaysia, the boss, the main manager, he told me that, because you are so talkative, I really want you to be my immigration consultant. I was like, okay, sure, I can make it. But I didn't know this person is so creepy. I have been harassed by him.
Harassed?
After
Did you
while.
say?
I think after 1 month.
Whoa, hello, Gazelle. Did you say you've been harassed by him?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
For the beginning, everything seems to be okay, but sometimes some people, they give you some vibes which is disgusting for you, and you are like,
yeah, I know.
Why he was not doing anything, but his vibes was so creepy. unfortunately.
You have a sixth sense.
So nasty.
You have a sixth sense of when people are creepy.
That's
and I
right.
think sometimes we're trained
That's
out
right.
of ignoring that sixth sense, and I think this has been a massive problem because if you get that, for want of a better word, gut feeling about something, but then it's I can't say anything. He's my boss. He's more important than me. My career depends on it. Other people depend on it, and that has been a massive problem. And it's all come to a head recently here in the UK, as I'm sure you know. But with things like Me Too and of course social Me Too, that's beginning to be broken down, which is why I'm fascinated in this, because everyone has a right to, shall we say, walk unmolested, if you like, and I mean that emotionally or physically. You know, yeah, of course we find people attractive. Of course, people flirt. There's not wrong with that in my book. But there's ways and means, and just thinking it's okay to do just because you're an attractive woman, it's not.
One of the things that Gazelle just mentioned when we did a recording with her, which was so profound, and that is that social platforms are where business is done.
Yeah.
And she cannot not be on social platforms. And so it is sexual abuse at work. When for social Me Too, so there was a story in the UK about the first gay footballer, a 17-year-old boy,
17-year-old kid.
And
good for him.
He's going to get trolled mercilessly, but hopefully some older players who are also gay will come out now and support.
The thing about that, sorry, I was on Talk TV this week and that story broke. And my point was, why is this even a story? If it was 1968, maybe 1978, and a footballer comes out as homosexual, okay, maybe it's a story. It's 2022, for Christ's sake. You know, who gives a shit? Who cares?
If anything's the guy is remaining there. Negative reaction to it. If anything, that's the shocking thing nowadays. If anything should be a story,
what I don't get about that story, we'll just take a detour for a second about this. I wasn't going to bring this up, but you've opened the door, Jonathan. Is this: the footballer should only be judged on whether he's a good footballer or not. What he does off the field, I couldn't give a monkey's. It's absolutely irrelevant. But I wanted to be clear, and I said the same thing on Talk TV, and I'll say it here: is that good for him, brave of him. He's 17. At 17, you don't really know which way is up. You think you're running the world, but you haven't even started yet. But good for him. I'm sure with, just sheer statistics there must be so many gay footballers who are too scared. Why they're too scared, I don't know, because they think they're going to be bullied. But the bottom line with that, and this goes really to the heart of men's radio station and what we do on women's radio station as well, would be this. What is the worst that can... So the guy's gay. Does that mean he can't play football well? No. Nonsense. It's a nonsense. It's the two. There's no correlation between the two. So it's only that people in the crowd or whatever, for whatever brutal, stupid, nonsensical reason, are going to be rude and troll him at the matches and on social media. Why? What are they scared of? What are they scared of? What difference does it make to them?
That's a very good question. Why
are they frightened
what is stopping them accepting that? What are they scared of?
Are they scared that they're gay? I mean, maybe. And if they were, who cares? So what?
Well, there is that. That's projection. That's projecting stuff you can't own onto yourself.
It is projection. I just don't understand. But I thought what was fun, because it was front page of the Times as well, and it was front page on a lot of papers over here. I couldn't believe that it was such a big deal that a footballer
I agree.
said,
My first reaction was like,
so what the hell's this about?
Was so what? So someone's
gay. It was completely. The whole thing was like a and.
But this is the thing, you see. We three presumably heterosexual males have never had to deal with the things that someone who's gay, who's not so the last 10, 15, 20 years in the UK, especially down in the southeast corner, we're a lovely mixing urban bohemian environment.
Yeah.
But you've not got to go far before, and I mean far north, before it's a I'm the man of the house. I work.
Yeah.
That
I'll put
goes
food
on.
on the table.
It's a
You show some
weird
respect
thing.
in my house.
That goes
Do you
on
know
today.
we're a tiny little island stuck in the North Sea,
Hmm.
right? That's what we are. That's what the UK is. A little bit of rock. It's tiny, right? I don't even think we're the size of Texas. I don't know. We're tiny.
Hmm.
And you're quite right. You know, I live in London. I'm London born and bred. Neil's the same. I hang out in Soho with my pals all the time. I've done theatre, obviously, and music. It's nothing. It is part of my normal life, right? I don't see it. I don't see it. And you're quite right. You can just travel a bit outside London, and it's like, what the
It's only
hell
when you
is
go out of
this?
London, because we have a holiday home on the south coast, and there's a little touch of racism down there, which really surprised me.
Wow.
Just you know, I've grown up with people of colour all my life, and gay people, and it never has and never will bother me. So when I take myself there, I sort of take myself with me and my attitude with me, and it's like when I hear that, I'm like, really? What century is this? But it kind of comes full circle.
It's
That's
a
what we're
shock,
talking about.
Gazelle. It's a real shock.
Well, it is, and it comes full circle because how as a professional woman like you, how do you cope in the online workplace with this? I mean, are there measures in place to protect you? I mean, talk us through an average day of how you be dealing with this, if I may.
Gazelle?
Oh, all right. Sorry. Because
Did you
your
switch
voice
off?
was.
Were you thinking about TV tonight?
Talking with Jonathan. Actually, for me, I have been faced, to this kind of abusive behavior since the age of 6.
6?
Yes.
Right.
By my friend's brother, unfortunately.
Oh,
but for me,
Gazelle,
sorry?
how old was your friend's brother? To try and position this.
Was
You're 6 years old. You're a baby.
12 years.
Jesus.
This is what I said to you on the last interview, wasn't it, Russ?
Yeah. Oh,
children abusing children.
That's disgusting.
Sorry, Gazelle.
Actually, I'm coming from a third world country, unfortunately. You know, where women outside, they are not safe. I'm not gonna say so safe. No, there is no safety for women. Actually, I was just walking, people, guys, they come, they feel like, okay, now they have to touch your private parts in public.
In Kuala Lumpur?
No, is this in Iran? Is this in Iran or Kuala Lumpur?
Iran or Kuala Lumpur?
Unfortunately, it's so common, still common. And,
I'm sorry,
they don't care about the war.
No, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. Is this in Iran or Kuala Lumpur or both?
No, not in KL. No, not in Kuala Lumpur. My own country.
In Iran, right? Okay.
In Iran. So you're saying, as a woman in Iran, you're walking down the street, and guys think it's completely okay to go up and molest you.
Yes.
Blimey.
And yet it's the same country that's got so many rigid rules around this kind of thing.
Yeah, go join
the line.
Join the line.
Yeah, it's something common, for people. It's like, well, what's wrong? What's wrong with that? It's my fault because I wore something attractive to attract guys to come and touch me. It's always I am the one who will be blamed. Once a few years ago, before I wanted to come here at the age of 22, I was outside. It was 9 p.m. I was with my friend. My friend is an old woman, like my older sister. We were outside, and we had to cross from the highway. But we were like, okay, because we had two options: to cross from highway itself or to use the bridge. And we prefer to use the bridge for our own safety. Yeah, but the bridge is not safe. We were in the bridge, and 5 guys, they came to me. 2 of them, they hold my hand from behind. The other one was touching my private part, and the 4th one, he stole my money. And the 5th one, he was busy touching my friend. My friend, after that, she went to hospital for 2 weeks. She has been admitted in hospital for 2 weeks. And for me, I was like, what can I do now? You know,
So that's a nice little snapshot of life in Iran. Not to mention the nuclear program.
I am sorry that you had to experience that.
Well, it's unbelievable.
Because that is just bloody disgusting. I'm
It
sorry.
is disgusting, but and I'll just step in for a moment.
And the hypocrisy is fantastic.
Yes, utter hypocrisy.
Well, no, because here's the thing, and this is the problem. This is such the problem.
Right.
Russ, Neil, myself. I just put in the chat a thing about the Everyday Sexism Project. So I saw this woman being interviewed on BBC News 3 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
In this country, all day, every day, men, not all men, some men behave like this to women in this country. We cannot other this and say it's Iran because it happens here every day.
But Jonathan, I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you for a second. I am not going to join the train that says all men are rapists.
No.
All
absolutely
men are terrible.
No.
I'm not having that because
not all.
It's nonsense. I'm really tired. I am tired of having to apologize for being white, and I'm tired of having to apologize for being a man. I will do neither. It's how it is. So get over it. Sorry, I can't.
Well, that's the pendulum swinging too far the other way, and that's the problem with things like this. Whenever there's something important like this, the pendulum will swing, and it generally swings too far the other way. And yes, there is a small group of people that think that all men.
I was very careful, Russ, to qualify not all men. It certainly isn't all men, and lots of the people I know are very much supportive of women. You've asked me back on this show because of that. Neil was asking back. So it's not something where unless you have done this to someone, you don't need to apologize for anything.
Well,
unless you
and I haven't. And also, I tell you, when I won't be using public transport for the foreseeable future. When I do, I won't even make eye contact with anybody. I don't need their bullshit. I don't need that. I didn't like the way you look at me. I sit, I have my audiobook on, and I have my eyes closed. What a way to live. Is that really how we are? Is that really
it's
how
that pendulum swinging too far in the opposite direction.
It drives me nuts, but I'm not going to give anybody an inch of an open door to say, oh, I didn't like the way he looked at me. Oh, he looked at me in a straight. Screw you. I'm not having
it. We'll come back to Gazelle in a moment, but as you know from last time, I would challenge that because when I go on public transport, or in fact everywhere, all the time, all day, every day, to everybody, woman, man, dog, grandmother, whoever it is, I'm an entirely sociable person, and
I was.
Well, yeah, but you see, the fact that you're not now is not, I think, because of society, because I am behaving in a way that you used to. I'm friendly, I am sociable, I am chatty. How do you think I got to meet Gazelle or the other women in my
just lucky?
You're right, and that's how I am, and I like making new friends. I like meeting people, and I'm a red-blooded male. I find women very attractive, but there's a line, and consent is key. And on the wrong side of consent, I won't go there. On the right side of consent, it's a very big playing field, and there's a lot of fun to be had there, 100%. But consent is key. And the fact that you experienced that, I feel like apologizing to you on behalf of those idiots that did it, because no one has the right to treat you that way, Gazelle. And it angers me. And I think even more so now that I have a daughter. I don't know, how old are you, Gazelle, if you don't mind me asking?
22.
22. Well, I have a daughter who's 27, and that's maybe even more aware of this issue, because it is a problem, that this kind of bovine male mentality that thinks it's okay to behave that way, and it's not. And shouldn't that be a given? I mean, what century is this? In 2022, in these so-called enlightened times, in the Western world, we're still wrestling with this.
We're not enlightened. We're going. Let's call a spade a spade. We're not enlightened. We're going backwards.
Yeah,
race relations is going backwards. The division between men and women is going backwards. It's all going the wrong direction.
And
we could talk about this forever because it's about being divisive, And you have to ask yourself, why is the world so divisive? It's a theme we come back to time and again on men's radio station. There is a reason why everything is so divided, because if you divide, you weaken. And a weakened population is a malleable population. And that's where that's the underlying cause.
And that's scary. What were you going to say, Gazelle?
Actually, for this, of course, I'm not here to say all men are the same or all women are victims. No way, no. But for this, to answer your question, why this crazy thing still happening and why we are going backward, I blame society. Why the society is already blaming us, we women. Anything happens, we are the ones who are going to be blamed. And what I can do, what I have to do as a woman, okay, at the age of 12, I'm allowed to get married. After that, of course, I have to be
You're allowed. Stop, Gazelle. Take a breath. Mm-hmm. At the age of 12, you can get married.
Yes.
Did you just say that?
Yes.
Not by choice, mate.
Yes.
No, I don't assume you're 12-year-old. You want to get Jesus.
This is happening in. This is what is happening in third world countries. Everywhere in the world, they're going forward. Those countries are going backward. You know, that's why for me they're not third world. It's like fourth world, fifth world. I don't know which world, but I know they're not updated. This is what I know. And they see women as slave of men. Men are here. Women are nothing. We are just baby producers. We are just some tool for men's sexual, wants and needs, for their desires.
I know, and I don't agree with it. I don't agree. Where's the most enlightened place you've lived? The most forward-thinking place? For me, it was Canada. When I went to Canada, I found them very forward-thinking there. What about you? You've obviously traveled quite a lot in the world. Where's the most forward-thinking place for you, where you're freest to be who you want to be, shall we say?
To be honest, exactly.
London.
But before I started traveling other countries, I was like, okay, Middle East is kind of, the countries are kind of the same, but the best actually is UAE. But since I'm honest with you guys, since I'm in Malaysia, I feel so safe. I feel I have some right to talk. I have some right to for self-defense. I can define myself. I can show, hey, yes, I'm a woman. Although I'm a foreigner here, I'm not local. I'm not a local, but I still can talk. I still can. There is nobody here, to stop me or to mute me forever. Although I had a very, very crazy experience with my ex-boss, but I still could quit my job, and that person right now in Malaysia, he is wanted. Why? Because you imagine, I was on the phone talking with my clients, and some hands were coming, touching me. And I was like, hey, please stop it. I don't like it. Okay, let me talk with my client. No, and he was like, no, I'm giving you energy. What?
I'm giving you energy. Oh, I'm going to write that one down.
Was it?
Well, I'm giving you energy.
Oh, that's
I don't understand what that energy means. But before, because from my background, since the age of 6, these things happened to me a lot. I already prepared myself, and I was like, I told myself, Gazelle, you can overcome on it, so don't worry. But the reason, as you mentioned, Mr. Rose, right? Rose, am I pronouncing your name? Rose.
I don't know. Okay. Is there a Mr. Rose here? Mr. Rose.
Mr. Rose.
Calling Mr. Rose. Mr. Rose to reception. Dr. Rose to reception. Dr. Rose to reception.
Okay. As you mentioned, I did not come here to go back my country. Why? The reason is because my father, he sold his single asset, which was his property, and he paid me. And then he was like, okay, you go to Malaysia and forget me. I'm not there anymore to support you. You have to support yourself, and at the same time, you are the one who must support me because I'm already retired. And this person knew that I have no plan to go back my own country. So I had to stay here. That's why he was like, okay, anything I tell her, she won't say no. But for 1 year and 8 months, I had to work with him. And every day I was arguing with him. No. He was like, no, you have to sleep with me. I said, I don't want to sleep with you. Why I have to do that? I'm virgin. Anyway,
How old is your
every day.
Wait, Giselle, take a breath.
Yes.
How old was this boss of yours?
Sorry?
How old was your boss?
I was 24 and he was 38.
Okay.
Yeah. But while he was already in a relationship.
So hang on, you were 24. So you just a moment ago said you were 22. How old are you actually?
Right now I'm 29. This October I'm going to be.
There we go, Neil. So you have to dig a little deeper. Okay. You see, one of the reasons is, and before everyone goes, oh, please don't, the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing, I can give a shit about two multimillionaires having a spat. I mean, it's just entertainment for everybody else. What I do, the point about it is if you're going to have a case like that, it dilutes every time we meet a gazelle. Every time we meet someone who has suffered genuine abuse, who has been sexually molested, all of those things, and you're not a multimillionaire with a huge legal team and a PR team and a makeup team and a press team and a management team and an agent team and all the rest of it, it dilutes the argument. And that is why the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing is so poisonous.
I agree. It is
because they turn it into a freaking circus. And yeah, it's very entertaining. Of course it is, because it's pure showbiz, it's pure melodrama and all the rest of it. But it's a very bad thing for women who have suffered abuse. But, and I'm sure Jonathan will agree, it does highlight the case. And I had so many messages of men who are abused by women. It's not a one-way street.
No. And it's that you see, and hopefully, Russ, this won't be our last chat on a live radio stream. That you see is exactly why I've set up Social Me Too. There is so much abuse online and offline. So on the Social Me Too website, I've got categories. I've got death threats. I've got rape threats. I've got murder threats. There's categories that people can submit stories, because these are the kind of stories about what's going on. And Gazelle's speaking of her actual in the world physical experience is the one reason I think, and she can correct me, but that was the one reason why she was able to talk on video about these experiences, because she's been hardened throughout the whole of her life. And women especially will internalize abuse, be it on social media or otherwise, as to what did I do. And men who are suffering, so men who are abused by women, the shame, because
the embarrassment.
Of course, you're supposed to enjoy being touched by a woman. You're supposed to enjoy this as a man.
You're not supposed to enjoy getting punched, are you?
Yeah, well, consent is consent.
Exactly. So I mean, we've got a situation whereby the way people are behaving towards each other, it's like, so dark energy in the universe is forcing things apart from each other at a faster rate. That seems to be what's happening, the way you refer to people drawing back to their religious or their country barriers. People are shrinking away from the world, whilst at the same time we have more access to the world than we've ever had. And I think
that's interesting. I'm a little more optimistic than that. I do think there's an awful lot of people waking up, or maybe I'm just in a circle of people that are having all quite enlightened conversations, because there is a massive movement to this kind of the very opposite of division of unity, which is, I suppose, one of my deep values in my kind of spiritually kind of way, and that includes consent. Of course, it does. It's not rocket science to treat people respectfully and well. My rule of thumb on social media is
sorry.
if I wouldn't say it to your face, I wouldn't put it online. People think social media is a place to hide.
No, it's not.
It's social
If you wouldn't
media.
say it, you know, Neil, and I'm sure everybody listening and watching around the world would agree. If you haven't got the balls to go and say to somebody's face that it's pathetic to write it, it's pathetic. And I always think
But that's the mindset we live
you're
in.
some sad loser sitting in your mum's spare bedroom, you know.
But that isn't the case. That's the problem.
No, but that's how I see it. Because
I know that's how you see it.
Because that diminishes these idiots.
Yeah, but that's the whole problem. That's what I'm pushing back on.
Yeah.
We three men who are doing things to help other men, who are doing things to help women, we're that enlightened bubble that Neil's talking about. But the people that, whether it's a man abusing a woman or a woman abusing a man online, those are not people in their mother's bedroom, in that stereotypical image of what an abusive person is.
Of the sad loser with the Tesco's laptop.
It's no longer the case. Right. It's the case that everybody has this 0 to 10 anger. Yeah. So I have a Twitter thing for social Me Too, but I don't engage in it at all. Twitter is like deliberately infuriating, and so people get used to
Jonathan,
there was
here's the thing about Twitter, and Gazelle said this right at the front end of the show, is this: if you use it as a tool, I use social media because everything I do relies on it. The radio, my other radio work, my books, my stand-up, all of that. You know, I don't have an agent, I don't have a manager, I don't have PR people, so I do it all myself. Everything you see really for men's radio and not for women's. Oh, hello, because she's given up. I think she was bored. Don't know. And so you've got to use it judiciously. One of the things, and I always say with one of my best pals, who's Ray Gelato, the jazz saxophonist we meet every Saturday morning. He says, and I got into a row, and I said, Ray, you're bloody mad. I never engage. I read some of this shit, and it is shit, and I think, you're an idiot, and I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of engaging. I look at it, I scroll past it. So for me, Twitter has been amusing, charming, and supportive. With Facebook, I don't put stuff up which is controversial. I might talk to Neil about it. We might do it on the show. But on Facebook, I try to do it as entertainment. And how do I think that that's responding? I got over 800 messages about my broken hand. Over 800. I couldn't believe it.
It's lovely.
You know, there's me and my dog. There's me and my dog. 800 messages. I was stunned and overwhelmed by people's kindness and niceness and the offers of help from people that I don't actually know that well. Can I come round? And not being silly, can we drop some stuff? How kind is that?
Very.
You know, if you put good stuff out, I'm sure Neil, this goes to the heart of Neil's.
Well, they say like attracts like, don't they?
Yeah, you put nice stuff out, you can get nice stuff back. Now, Gazelle, you know, what you're enduring, like that story about you walking over the bridge with your friend is horrendous. The other side to that is this. My career, apart from broadcasting, was always advertising, both in New York and in London. And in advertising in its heyday, yes, I really was exactly like Mad Men. It was that is who we were, right? And we worked very hard, and boy, we played hard, most of which I can never repeat, right? We played very hard. But it was an understanding always of consent. Even in our early days at Capital, you know, we were all pals together, and it was a wonderful, wonderful atmosphere. But it was with mutual consent and mutual respect.
I have the same relationship with the lady I work with on Radio Jackie, Nikki Patrick. I call her my radio wife because we've been together for so long on the radio. And she's a very happily married woman, by the way, and not to me. And we banter. Some of the things we say off air, but people will be shocked at. But the consent's in place. it's an absolute mutual respect and consent, and we understand that we're doing it for
because there's
theatre,
an understanding
to entertain people.
I'm going to
but
be
some people don't.
I'm going to be blunt. There's an understanding, and Gazelle, forgive me, because what you've said is horrible, but there is an understanding. You can have wonderful relationships with people with crazy banter, and you can push it to the limit, but there is an understanding. You're not going to suddenly leap over the table and grope them or attempt to rape them or do something ghastly.
I know.
We can all be adult about it, you know. And the word no, I don't know about in Iran. Obviously, it doesn't work at all.
No means exactly that.
Means
no means no.
sod all in Iran. But the rest of the word no, if you're a decent human being, means exactly that. That's what it means.
Go, Neil.
I'm just kind of thinking on my feet here. I'm looking. I guess I'm looking for the right words that I want to say to Gazelle, because I'm just, as I said, it angers me that people that forgive me, you know, a beautiful young woman like yourself who wants to be successful, wants to be happy, just average normal human desires, has to endure this shit from people that think they've got some sort of God-given right to do it. It's an irony. It's an irony that the more superior people think they are, the more inferior they act, right?
Gazelle, can I ask you a question? And I'd like Jonathan then to comment. My question is this. Neil just said something which to me is perfectly innocent. And you just said a beautiful young woman, etc., etc., etc. Have we got to the stage in life when you're not even allowed to say that?
I don't think so.
Well,
I hope not.
I'm asking the question.
Please.
Yeah. So
how do you feel about that, Gazelle?
Unfortunately, now I'm on this camera and now I'm interviewing with you is because I'm not in my own country. And I don't know what's going to happen to me after that. Because unfortunately, my country, women, they must be mute, zip it. You have not to talk. I'm the one who will seduce guys. I'm the one who will, you know, will wear something for the guys to come to me, to touch me in public or anywhere. Actually, you know, even in university. In university, in my country, unfortunately, is a place that people, they will do, you know, sexual activity. Everywhere in the world, in the university, they will study, except my country. But for me, you know, as a person who has been harassed in many ways since my childhood until I came here, or I mean until adult, like adulthood right now, I was like, it's okay. For the beginning, of course, I even was not allowed. I even didn't know how to speak about it to my own father, to my own brothers. I was really scared because
is your mother still alive, Gazelle? Is your mother still alive? Is your mother still alive?
Yes, my mother and father, both of them.
Because you've only mentioned, it's interesting, you've only ever mentioned your father. Your mother hasn't come up once in conversation. And I'm wondering, can you not speak to your mother about any of these things?
Actually, I'm a best friend with my mom. Yeah, I remember when first time I had an abusive behavior from my friend's brother at the age of 6. I was just keep crying. And when I came back, because I was at her place, we were neighbors. And when I came back to my own home, I was just crying out loud. My mom was like, yes, what happened to you? Why you keep crying? I said, Mama, I can't tell you. It took exactly 1 hour. I tell her what happened to me. Why? Because I have 2 brothers. My siblings all are older than me. My both brothers, they're so strict and still bigot, I can say that. And I was like, if I tell that to my brother, you know, because I was just 6 years old. I was scared if my brother can kill me, or I don't know, or do something against me.
Hang on.
Wait a minute.
I'm a little confused.
I've got this.
I'm a little confused here. If you had told your parents, would they have not gone? Logic dictates they would have gone round and sorted this little. No, Jonathan's shaking his head.
And instead, you're in a culture where the people you should be able to open up to and trust the most would actually blame you for it happening at 6 years old.
Yeah,
that is effing disgusting.
Well, of course, it's disgusting.
It is. I agree with you. But thankfully, that time when that happened to me, my brother, he he hits that person, my friend's brother, and my friend's brother, he was in coma for 1 week, and my brother went to prison because of me.
Okay.
Thankfully, I
This
have a
couldn't get
supportive
much worse,
family.
could it, Jonathan? Bloody hell, this is a story and a half. What did
I
he hit him
know.
with? A crowbar? What did he hit? What do you mean? He hit
I
him
know.
and he went into a coma.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that's right. But unfortunately, not my family. My family, they're already they're kind of open-minded. But except my brothers actually. But now no, they are fine. But some families, you know, the father will kill daughter easily at the age of 14. She has been killed 3
honor
years
killings,
ago
and we're
in North.
supposed to say that's okay. It's not okay. It's rubbish.
It's not okay. Yeah, she has been killed by
Why?
her
Because it
father.
would.
She has been hit by her father because she got a boyfriend at the age of 14,
And it
and the
brought shame
father
on the
was
family.
already, and the father, sorry, the father was already interested in her to have sex with her. And then when she said no, the father killed her at 6 a.m. Now he's just in prison. Nothing will happen to him. Then he can come up anytime. No worries. Another thing happened.
Yeah, but don't forget, Israel's a terrible country, obviously. See, this is what makes me sick to my stomach. You know,
See, I thought you were talking about honor killing
we
there, but you
tolerate
even
this
further.
crap.
There is.
And also,
There is.
so we do not, and I'm sorry, this is the fact, we do not want this garbage imported into the United Kingdom.
No.
If you're going to live in the United Kingdom,
Wouldn't
you
you?
abide by the laws of the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
If you go to America, you abide by American laws. You go to France, you abide by French.
Exactly.
You don't bring your own bullshit laws with you like a little
You agree.
backpack.
Yeah, I agree.
You agree.
I agree. And some people
don't
call
want
me.
any of this.
Some people
We
think I'm
don't
being
want
racist
this.
when I say that, and it's got nothing to do
It's
with
not
race.
racist. It's not right, Neil.
Not remotely
Neil,
racist.
you go to Italy, right? You don't say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm abiding by British laws." Yeah, but you're in Pisa or you're in Florence, mate. You abide by Italian laws.
Exactly.
It's not
Quite.
racist. It's
Quite.
fact.
I agree.
It's
Gazelle,
fact.
Can I ask you something? I'm optimistic enough to think there is a growing group of men and women with a sort of more enlightened, inclusive outlook. What can particularly men do that would help you personally right now? What can the average man? What could I do? What could my attitude be towards you now to help you and to contribute to you the most?
Regarding this, to be honest, this can happen only in developed countries. Because as Mr. Rose already mentioned, I believe there is a hell. I believe there is a hell. That's why now I'm here living all alone for 5 years. So for me as a girl, unfortunately, you know, we are like we are not animals. We even are not animals. They still behave to animals better than women. I myself am not even an animal. All the women activities, anything which belongs to women is already banned. So I, as a woman, what I can do,
Gazelle,
yes.
Say that again.
Could you say that again? Because I didn't follow what you said.
All women is already bought, or something you said.
Well, yeah, I didn't get that last sentence. I'm not sure what you're saying.
Just repeat the last sentence you said, if you would, please.
Okay, actually, all women activities is banned. I mean, I as a girl, I'm not allowed.
Banned. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, we are banned. Yeah, we are banned
right, gotcha.
from the government. Like, we are not allowed to ride bicycle. Just simple bicycle. Just bicycle, okay? Yeah. I'm not talking about bike.
So what can the average man who wants to be decent, who wants to respect women, and is still kind of learning the new rules of it, as it were, what can the average man, how can men best serve you? Men that want to be decent and treat you as you want to be treated? I think that's my question. What would you ask? The fact that you have to ask for it and the fact that I have to ask the question reflects on our society. I'd like it to be a given. If it were a given, what would it look like to you?
For this, I myself, as a girl, what I want from a man, to respect me, to trust me, and behave me like a human.
Yeah.
I'm not his sexual desire tool. I'm not his baby producer. I'm not his slave. I'm not the second gender. I am not. This is me, and you accept me as I am. And most importantly, I'm not your honor. That doesn't mean because I'm a woman, so I'm your honor. What do you mean I'm your honor?
What honor? Are you saying the
Comes
word
down
honor?
to honor-based stuff, isn't it?
Yes.
Hmm.
You imagine.
It's very alien, isn't it? It's very alien. I'm not following it.
So you'd like to be able to follow your own path without being told you're bringing shame on this family or cultural idea, which seems to hold itself in a superior position to you, incorrectly.
That's right. Because I, as a woman, I'm nothing but ashamed for my family, for my husband, for my boyfriend. Actually, wait, I tell you something. I'm just good for when he needs me. When he doesn't need me, just like a piece of paper, a piece of tissue, he will throw me out.
Isn't it? I'm going to say something, Gazelle. We look at this not just from a London viewpoint, because we're not a London-centric station, it's a global station, but we look at it, let's just say, from a Western civilization viewpoint, all right? Or, be more specific, a European viewpoint. None of those things that you've said apply in Western civilization or in European civilization.
Absolutely, completely and categorically dismiss that. And I'll give you the examples.
Okay.
We've only got 4 minutes, so
we do. We're going to have you back.
Yeah. But I'll let
Ning the Merciless will be back, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, but basically, the pushback on that is that we have an estimated 80,000 female genital mutilations in this country.
What, in the UK?
In the UK.
By what? By whom?
By people from other cultures,
Yes, there you go. Thank you.
But that's bringing their beliefs over here. That's bringing them.
You can't say
Jonathan,
we live in
you're just confirming exactly what I've said.
No, I'm not confirming what you said. Well, okay. Let me offer you a brief.
Because this is not. You don't have. I'm sorry. Christ, I don't want to. You end up sounding like Hitler. This is not British people saying, "Oh yeah, we'll have some female mutilation."
No,
they're not. They may have a British passport, but that's about it.
Okay, but then, okay, so that's a larger conversation about race and identity and country.
I think I know what you're saying, and I think the way I would sum it up is this, because I think there's a slight misunderstanding, if I may, from an observer position going on between Jonathan and Russ. My personal opinion on this is there's things I see like FGM, like slavery, like honor killings, like even enforced marriages, and I don't think that is appropriate in any society, personally, let alone this one. But I don't consider that a British idea or a neo idea. Some people have those ideas in their country of origin, and like Russ said, bring them here. They bring the cultural memes here. Yeah. I don't consider them British ideas.
Yes, but here's the thing:
is that fair?
Well, it's fair in so far as these are ideas that have been brought from other cultures around the world. However, if you want to say about Britain being a particular kind of nation, we invented the concentration camp.
How far are you going to stretch this, Jonathan?
Well, only as
How
far
are you going to stretch it? I know they did. They did it in the Boer War. I know that. You're not telling us anything new.
So we're only stretching it as far as to say that people that live here and have a British passport and call themselves British, but still carry out what we would consider as, so you two are white British males. I was raised by a white family. So even though I'm mixed race, I have white privilege. And for us three talking...
Why do you keep calling it? No, I'm not going to let that one slip by. I'm not having this white privilege bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm not going to keep apologizing for
you haven't got to apologize for anything. No, you haven't got to apologize.
I'm seriously, I'm not going to, and it's not because
you should not.
And I'm not just being like this because my hand is absolutely killing me at the moment. As you probably noticed, it's because I just cannot keep this convert. I don't mean this. I want you back. You've got to come back.
Okay.
Right? Come back either next week or the week after, because we're right out of time. Gazelle, you are well. Hello, calling Kuala Lumpur. Thank you so much for coming on the show. You've been extraordinary, and we'd love to have you back. There's so much more.
Gazelle, and can I just say very quickly, you're getting some wonderful, wonderful comments. I'll just put one on the screen for you to see there from our listeners. So for what it's worth, there's an awful lot of thousands of people who are watching and listening to this broadcast that well and truly have your back.
Yeah.
So follow your dreams and follow your heart. And I hope you find a group of people that will nurture and support that for you and give you the love and respect that you deserve. And I really mean that.
And last word, Social Me Too, www.socialmetoo.org. We are all, men, women, and otherwise, non-binary, are all having experiences on social media. If they're going around your head,
Jonathan, you are heading. If I had two hands, you'd be heading for trouble. You're only doing this because I'm crippled at the moment. Non-binary bollocks. Right, we're out of time. Jonathan, you're coming back. Gazelle,
thank you.
Please stay safe. Lots of love to you all. See you. What's today? Wednesday. We'll see you Friday. Bye, gang.
See you Friday.